Howdy y'all, this is the Savage Sheeb, and I would like to talk about my best friend Charlie. Charlie is my Jack Russell Terrier dog, and frankly, he isn't doing so hot. He's had diabetes for a while now, due to his past addiction to carrots, actually, and I'm really not joking. And now his legs are giving out, and he can barely walk. There are some days where he just can't at all. I have him on pain pills, but I'm not sure how much longer I have, and for a dog as rascally and hyper as he is, living his life without his legs is, well, it's not really living for him, you know? I love him, and to have him stuck barely able to move, well, I can't do that to him. But, as always, I try to find the positive in things. And I struggled with this one for quite a bit, as how can I justify the fact that I'll have to say goodbye to my best friend forever, you know? Regardless, the positive that I found? Well, I have a huge change in my life coming up that will very likely require me moving. It's something I've needed to do for a very long time, and the way I see it, this is Charlie's way of letting me know that it's okay to go. This move is something I should have done a very, very long time ago, and Charlie, well, Charlie is the literal only thing keeping me here in New York. If it hasn't been made clear yet, I despise New York with a burning passion, and that's putting it very lightly. The day I got Charlie, I promised him that I would be there the day he died, so long as he lived until he was 10. I joked and said, once you reach 10, then if you really want to die, then that's on you, but I did my job at that point. Charlie was there by my side as I was dealing with those bullies that I used to deal with. Charlie was there when all my friends had vanished at one point. Charlie was there with me after my operation, despite the fact that I couldn't pet him. Charlie was there every night that I used to deal with nightmares nonstop. Charlie was the only thing I had in my life when I went through the hardest day of my life many years ago. Charlie is my best friend, so for him, I want to dedicate this episode to all the crazy shit I've been through with him. He has a very unique sense of humor, and I'm a firm believer in the phrase, dogs can talk, but only to those who know how to listen. So, I feel it's only fitting that I talk about the day I met Charlie. My family and I had originally planned to get a bull mastiff. You know, one of those big, drooly, 200-pound dogs? Yeah, one of those. Well, this is before I knew what puppy mills were, so we were at a dog store. Before I even continue, though, fuck dog stores, fuck puppy mills, adopt your dogs. If you must, get a professionally bred dog, but never go to a dog store. I would instead recommend, again, adopting a dog, because there's a lot of homeless dogs out there. So, regardless, as we got to this dog store, there was a family walking out with the bull mastiff my family planned to get originally. I was pretty pissed off at that. My first time even seeing Charlie, he was humping a poodle. Oof. Ironically, I even said right then and there, I'm not getting that dog. Funny. I believe everything happens for a reason. I was supposed to end up with Charlie. So we looked at other dogs, and none of them were really anything special. Ironically enough, as you'll find out later, my father, of all people, said to give the Jack Russell a chance. Okay, fine, I said. I don't want that dog, but everyone deserves a chance, I suppose. We took Charlie out, and as I stated earlier, Charlie has boundless energy. When we took him out, he was lethargic and walked over to my sister and laid on her lap. That only further made me decide that I didn't want this dog, as he didn't even pay attention to me. Suddenly, Charlie got up, peed on her, ran around with the boundless energy he is so well known for, and came running up to me and licked my face. Yep, that's my dog. The guy who sold him to us was a rather questionable man. He had 2 golden teeth and was not in a particularly good part of town. He did, however, give Charlie to us on a discount. Which is funny, we probably should have heeded those warnings. A further warning was that Charlie's first toy. It was a moose plush. He ripped the throat out of it in minutes, and then the squeaker, then ignored it and never touched it again. Yep, we really should have heeded those warnings. The way Charlie got his name was, if you've ever seen the YouTube video Charlie the Unicorn, he was named after that, as well as a big childhood movie of mine, All Dogs Go to Heaven, and also Napoleon, I think it's Bonaparte? I don't know. The guy who's really short but thinks he's taller, just like Charlie. So Charlie's full name is Charles Napoleon Barkins III. There was no first or second, I just thought it made it sound better. There was a time I watched Charlie the Unicorn with him in the same room. The scene where the unicorns cross the bridge and say, "Charlie, Charlie, we're on a bridge, Charlie." Well, my Charlie went apeshit. I still can't watch that with him around because it drives him absolutely crazy. When Charlie would get really excited, he would squat down and run like a maniac. It looked like he was hopping around like a bunny all over the place, so I called that bunny running. The next story with Charlie that I love, it's about 2 years into having Charlie. At this point, my father and Charlie had developed a weird love-hate relationship. My father was thoroughly convinced that Charlie was trying to screw him over in a weird power struggle kind of way. So, we were having dinner one night, and my father makes this claim, and my mother says, "He's just a dog, he doesn't know." Then we let him out in the backyard, where Charlie proceeds to shit in the dead center of the pool cover while staring my father dead in the eyes. I remember how my father said, "Wow, I don't even have enemies that would shit on my property while looking me in the eyes." Charlie then proceeded to kick the shit in my father's direction, and finally he wouldn't come inside until my father opened the door. If me or my mom did it, he wouldn't come in. Nope. Had to be my father. We never questioned my father after that. Yes, the dog is in fact trying to screw you over. Another story was a girlfriend I had at the time. Charlie used to get in her way when me and her would have our alone time. Because Charlie is quite protective of me, or he's a cockblock. I prefer to think it's the former, however. Anyway, one day she got tired of it and told me to go get the treats so she can end this once and for all. So I go get the treats, and she shuts the door and locks it behind me. Christ almighty, I thought my dog was going to attack her, and then I would have to, like eat him or something. There's still a mark on my basement door from when I was trying to break into the fucking room. Suddenly, she opens the door, and Charlie is best friends with her. What in the unholy fuck? Still, to this day, I have no fucking idea what she did. It reached the point where Charlie would get in my way of our alone time. Which confirms that you're not a cockblock, you're just a fucking traitor, dog. Now, I used to suffer from really bad nightmares for many years, which thank God stopped 4 years ago. To the point I was afraid to sleep sometimes. It was non-stop nightmares, always the same fucking nightmare over and over, every time I would sleep. Charlie would come into my room, despite not being allowed upstairs, and would cuddle with me to calm me down. He wasn't a registered therapy dog, and if you ever met him, trust me, he's the exact opposite of a therapy dog sometimes. But he still knew I wasn't in a good way, and he would lay down, like, right behind my head, kind of like a deformed, scruffy scarf. I would wake up in a cold sweat and feel much better once I realized Charlie was in the same room as me. You know, he's awesome like that. Another story is when he got drunk. Yes, my dog got drunk. And I swear on everything holy that it was his own fucking fault and we had no idea that he was drinking. He ate through one of the boxed wine containers that we had in the floor in the living room during a family event, and it was rather tucked away so nobody saw this going on. He walked out from there and he could barely stand. We thought he was dying, but we found the box was torn open and realized he wasn't dying, he was just drunk off his ass. I guess Charlie wanted to join the family fun? There's also the time I played fetch with Charlie one day, and when he went to go get that toy, I hid his favorite toy. He saw me while I was running away with it, and tried to follow me, but I hid it very quickly, and he couldn't find it. So what does Charlie do later? Well, I'm playing video games, and he comes downstairs, jumps on the couch, and acts all cute. Okay. I go to pet him, and he suddenly knocks the controller out of my hand, breaking it. That's $60 gone, by the way. Then he proceeds to run towards the door, looks back at me, snorts, then runs upstairs. Speaking of money, my mother couldn't find some of her money every so often, so she just kind of wrote it off as she spent it and forgot. It was always like a 20 or two, but, it added up. Turns out Charlie stole it and put it under our couch. I want out of New York too, Charlie, but holy fucking shit, don't be a thief about it. We found close to $300 under the couch a few months later. Holy fucking shit, Charlie. There's the time Charlie found out his love of swimming. He dropped a toy of his in our pool and couldn't reach it. He was trying to reach it, but no matter how hard he tried, he just couldn't. So what does he do? He falls in. And after that day, the pool became more Charlie's than anyone else's, to the point that once we closed up the pool, he would get, kind of fat. And come summertime, he lost all that weight very quickly. I was watching a movie called The Valley of Gwangi one day. I love that movie. It's awful, but in a so bad it's good way. It's got a dinosaur that goes around killing cowboys. Just give it a watch. It's really stupid but enjoyable. So anyway, I was watching this movie and I saw Charlie come in and I called him Gwangi. He seemed to like that name, so his nickname is Gwangi. I give all my best friends nicknames, and since Charlie is my best friend, I feel it's only fitting that he got one too. As Charlie got older, he couldn't see as well as he used to. He has cataracts in his left eye to the point that I think it's almost completely blind at this point. Anyway, I was playing fetch with him once, and he ran into a metal gate so hard that he knocked out one of his teeth. Oof. Lastly, he was with me after my operation that, killed me. Twice. If you haven't seen that video, I'll leave a link down below so you can check that out. I couldn't pet Charlie, but he wouldn't leave my side. He always sat down next to me, and again, while I couldn't pet him, as I said, he didn't seem to care. He stayed with me the entire time when I was home and recovering. I would always vent to Charlie about literally everything, and Charlie knows me better than anybody else in the world. Goddamn, I'm glad he can't actually talk. Now, Charlie, he has his quirks, but honestly, I couldn't ask for a better friend. I know my time with him is limited now, but I think he accepts it, and while I can't say I'm happy about it, I accepted it too. As I mentioned earlier, it's Charlie's way of saying it's time for me to let go of my past and move into my future after so many years of holding on to it. Just like how I met Charlie, I view as something that was supposed to happen in the first place, now I'm saying goodbye to Charlie when it's supposed to happen. He's my best friend, and when that day comes, thanks to him, I'll be ready.